Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
How's
My goodness, it's good to see you today.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I actually didn't see you come back. I know you were bouncing in and out today, and I was like, you know what? I was on a phone call, and I did not see you come back,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
made it back, I see.
I did. I'm right here. I owe people. There's various phone calls I need to make this afternoon before our next meeting.
Ooh, yes.
So if you're seeing me and you're going, "What's going on?" and I owe you a phone call, you will get a phone call.
Yes.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
I'm on the run today, Tuesday.
Yes.
But
It's a Tuesday on the run.
Tuesday on the run, and I had to run and go rattle some cages at a doctor's office just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you get them rattled?
So, long story short is, took my dad to his first doctor's appointment in town. They said they were going to do 4 things, and it took 4 days to get the first 2 things.
So they're not 4 things they have to do. They're not doing them very rapidly.
Very rapidly. So,
No.
after a visit yesterday to the doctor's office, I got the first 2 accomplished. Still waiting for the other 2. So I go back after our meetings this morning, but before this, ran back down there again to the doctor's office, and I said, kindly, I think I need to schedule another doctor's appointment for my father because of the 4 things that were promised. We've only gotten 2 of them, so maybe we just need to come in and rehash what I thought was already decided, because that's what we were told.
We were told something, and it...
Yeah. So
Yes.
very kindly, very nicely, and at that point they produced thing number 3.
Oh, so all it took was a little, not even a vicious cage rattling.
No. Just
hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
We're still here.
That's why I think
Yes.
going in person is better than a phone call.
Yeah.
Then they said they would work on number 4. So that's where we've left it. So I've, since last Friday, a doctor's visit, 2 phone calls, and 2 more visits, and I've gotten 75%. And
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Now the wild thing is, we got great care in the office itself. So in other words, when I brought my father in and we went through everything, we got wonderful, compassionate, what seemed to be very on top of it care. So I was very impressed. Really was like, oh, this is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just the follow through has been a little tough. So I've just made it my
So yeah,
goal in life.
you knew they were good people.
Yeah.
But they just needed to be reminded
multiple times.
multiple times.
Over 5 days.
Over 5 days.
Yeah. So if with
But I
any
mean,
luck,
it's a lot. You talk about our healthcare in general for anybody, and it takes a lot of energy just going and following up and all the little things. And
that's right.
So I mean, yeah, it's a lot. But I mean, I'm glad you're out there doing it, because I mean, it's
Staying
a
on
lot.
top
Some
of it.
people, yeah, they can't have that, or they don't have somebody.
An advocate, right?
Yeah.
So and now you're right, and my heart goes out to folks who don't have the capacity to do stuff like that, because that will fall through the cracks, right? So anyways, dealing with that, but we have council tonight. 'Cause that's our
We
next-
do.
yeah.
We're always excited for
It's always good
a council evening.
to meet up with folks and check in and see kind of report in on what's going on.
State of the church.
State of the church. We do that almost every month. Sometimes in December we opt not to because of the.
It's hard to find a free evening sometimes in December.
Right. But other than that, we have a great council, wonderful people, and so that.
Well, and that's what makes it, right? If you have a great team, hey, we can work with whatever.
That's right.
We'll find a way to make things happen.
Yep.
So
we have all sorts of stuff going on. As you see, we got our coat drive going on. We had a wonderful luncheon on Sunday with LGBTQ and friends, and allies. A great group of folks, just spending time together, and that's all it was.
Just a great group of people.
Yeah, and we just had a wonderful afternoon, eating lunch and talking, and discovered that two of our members who had moved away to Washington State are moving back.
Well, that's
So
exciting.
that's an exciting thing. So I'm
Yeah.
very happy to not just have them online, but actually back in person again.
That
So,
that is it's we love that. We love
Yeah.
seeing people in person. It's not can't do it all the time,
yep,
obviously.
obviously, but,
But
for folks who can, it was great that they said, no, we want to be back in Las Vegas, and
yes.
not only that, but back here at this church. So
Yep.
we're very happy for that. And yeah, we just got any number of things. You know, the elevator's working again. We're thankful for. We got Bible study tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
we were going through the list the other day. It's nice to have
Yeah.
stuff.
quite a
Stuff
quite
that
a bit of
works.
things. Yeah, right. It's always nice to have things that work, and even the fact that as of right now, as you mentioned at 9:30, like it feels like, you know, everything is running the way it should.
Right?
Right? We'll take that.
We'll just take it.
Yeah.
We're just going to
Accept
take that.
gift.
Right.
I mean, I wish, just personally, I wish we weren't going to have a peak of temperatures this week. I know it's still below 100, but I
know.
still wish it
It's
was.
funny how you get so attached to that.
Yeah.
Where, you know, there was a
Threshold.
while there where we're having a week that's not 106,
And we were
I'm
happy.
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
Now we're going back up to 98. I'm like, oh no.
Do we have to?
Do we have to go back to
Right.
98?
Yeah.
I mean, and we could easily go back to 106. But,
Easily this time of year. But
but I'm ready for the high to be like 89 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we'll get through the next couple of days. And
Yep. My kids had off of school yesterday.
was there a holiday?
There was not.
Okay.
It was just a day where they send the teachers in and they send the students home.
The good old institute days. At least that's what they
So-
used to call them in Illinois. It was an institute day.
Yeah, in service is
In
what we
service,
call
okay.
it now. But
Yeah.
but I took my boys and one of the neighbor kids. We drove up to Mount Charleston. We're gonna have another hiking club up that way too this weekend.
Did you know?
But it was like we got out and I think it was 67 degrees, and Isaac said he'd never been so cold in all his life. All his life.
I love that. But it is a short life. I mean, we think about it. It's not an exaggeration.
He did later take it back. He
Yeah, okay.
realized that snow was probably cooler than
Cooler
this.
than that.
And he did not ask for a jacket, but that was his comment.
Did you
As
bring
cool-
jackets?
No.
Oh, I was about
No,
to
we were
say,
gonna.
what?
There was no bringing jackets. You go up there and you be cold.
Yeah.
Yes. This is
You-
why we're up here.
You're here to be cold, and you will like it.
And you will. And we did.
Yeah.
We loved it.
So here's an interesting fun fact that I've lived in the valley for 10 years total, and Pastor Brian has been to Mount Charleston more times in 1 year than I have in 10 years.
There you go.
I literally can count on one hand the amount of times I've been to Mount Charleston.
It is. It's a far enough of a drive that it makes it out of the way, right?
Yes.
But then at the same time, kids play outside
Yeah,
all day long,
right.
and it's just okay.
it's great.
I'm happy with that.
It's great.
I'm happy with that.
I mean, I don't
So-
begrudge it. It's just I never seem to have that
Because it is just far enough.
little window
It
to
is just far
to
enough
go up
away.
there. And I still keep hoping that Ellis Island, who owns the lodge, is eventually going to actually build that lodge, rebuild, from that
Rebuild the
fire.
lodge.
But I've heard nothing has happened up there. There's a foundation, and that's about it. So
Yeah, I've seen a foundation.
yeah. Of course, it goes back to, and I've told you this. My very first time to Mount Charleston was 2 weeks after I moved here in '98. Get to the very top above the lodge, like the highest place you can picnic and drive a car,
Mm-hmm.
and the car dies. I am stuck literally at the top of Mount Charleston, of at least as far as you can drive.
There you
And
go.
and the car was dead. You're pretty far up when you have to walk down to the lodge, Because if you keep going, there's just a little bit more up
A little
there.
bit more?
Not much. We went up there.
That's where it died.
That's where it died.
And old Norb came to pick you up.
Yep, good old Norby. He Norbert came and got me, and he was a Sunday night back then.
I
Keith
don't
was
think I ever met him. But
Yeah, I'm married to Kathy and
yes. knew
Ludke,
Kathy.
Norbert Ludke. That's a
Yes.
name right there.
It sure is.
And so one day, I'm going to see him in heaven again. I'm going to say, remember when you came and rescued me from the top of Mount Charleston? And of course, that is in the early age of cell phones. So most of us didn't have cell phones. Like
Right.
And so I had to walk down to the lodge and make a collect call. People
And
don't
Norb
even
came.
people don't even know what
answered-
that means.
Yeah.
I made a collect call.
I've never made a collect call.
See, exactly.
Yeah.
Back in the day, sometimes you have to make collect calls, which means the other person pays for the phone call.
I'm old enough to know what it means,
Okay.
but I've never done it.
And that's also back when you would get charged per phone call, which today is a non-existent thing, right? Like you pay for a month, and there's not per minute. Back then, you paid per minute.
So yeah, my early cell phones would do those little cards. And
Yeah, right,
you'd,
right.
You know.
You know what the other fun thing? Some of you remember this is you would wait to make long-distance phone calls until after 7 o'clock. Because the rates were cheaper. Remember, you're getting charged per minute. So it was cheaper to call cross country. Like, for example, if I was going to call my parents back in Illinois back then, it was cheaper to call late at night than in the peak of the day.
Calling long distance, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Did I ever tell you the story? Speaking of my parents, did I ever tell you the story of the one time my parents took a European vacation? Did I ever tell you this story?
No, but it sounds like a doozy.
So my parents didn't travel much, but in 98 or 99, they decided to do a once-in-a-lifetime North Sea cruise. So you get on a boat in England, and then you go up into the North Sea.
Okay.
And then you bounce between, like, Norway and Germany.
Yes.
You know, Sweden and Finland. And the last stop is St. Petersburg, Russia, where they,
Wow.
land,
Okay.
and then they took like a train or a bus or something down to St. Petersburg to see the great museum called the Hermitage. And it's a world-class museum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was
Wow.
a worrywart, another old term, about traveling.
Sure.
Just
That's a big trip.
yeah.
That's a big trip. Yeah.
I mean, going to Wisconsin was a big deal for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they lived in Illinois.
Yes. So
One
yeah,
state,
it's right. Right.
So mom was always afraid of flying, and I mean she'd do it, but she didn't like it, and then she was worried about being on a boat, but she always wanted to do all these things. So because she talked about how concerned she was about going on this trip, even though she wanted to,
Yes.
these were all the things she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Somewhat, and she gave me the itinerary. She gave me, in case of emergency, like even on the boat, right? Like here's the ship to shore phone. Like she gave me everything.
Yeah. All that information. It's
Right.
just yeah.
So-
So this was a very big deal
Very
for
big
her.
turn
Yeah.
because she was worried. So what I did was one Sunday morning, I'm here, I faxed the cruise ship.
Wow.
I faxed the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she gave me the fax number of the cruise ship.
Okay.
So I thought I'd fax the cruise ship. So, the fax has, the number and, blah, blah, and then who it's to, my parents. And I wrote in this note, in this fax, I said, I haven't heard from you. I presume you're lost at sea. I have sold everything off. And if you're still alive, please contact me at ASAP.
Yeah.
So I faxed.
Just a general
just
message there.
general-
Like,
Checking in
while
with my
you're
parents.
at camp,
Yeah,
you
right.
get letters from
right.
people. Yeah.
So I guess as it goes, they were. It was pre-dinner when the fax came in, and one of the stewards on this fancy boat,
Yeah.
had this note on a silver tray, and found my parents in the cocktail lounge, and he was halfway between a smirk and being a little sheepish delivering this fax to my parents. So it did get delivered though, because
It did get delivered.
I heard about it later, right?
Okay, so they did not contact you ASAP.
No, they
though.
did not. No, they did not. But then a week later, they were spending a couple of extra days in London. Like I said, this is the only time they were ever overseas
Wow. Okay.
in their entire marriage. She gave me that, what hotel they were staying at. So also on a lark, because we had free long distance here in this building, because back when we used to own the Sandhill building, there was a long distance company, a discount long distance company in the old Sandhill building that we rented. And so as a perk, we got free long distance here in the building.
Wow.
So I thought, what the heck? Let's call London,
What the heck?
right? It's free, right? It's not going to cost us anything. It didn't cost the church anything. So I called, got to the hotel, and I said, please connect me to, Lynn Berggren's room. And they, connect me. And 1 in a million shot, they were actually in the hotel room when I called. So while they were overseas, I made two points of contact. One is the fax. One was at the end of their trip. I called their hotel room, and they happened to be in the hotel room at the time.
Wow.
Isn't that a story?
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. One to end on. Philip, will you take us out?
Yeah, that's it. We don't need to go anywhere else, right? So, and if Philip was here, he probably would start playing.
He would. But
Philip,
he's not here.
Philip was gone for the weekend, so therefore that means we got more talking to do, right?
We do.
So, anyways, I just thought I would.
I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
That was a little fun I had with my parents.
I
back in
think
the
that's
day,
great.
So. But this past weekend, we actually went into that third part of the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. And one of the songs that fits so well with that whole thought of give us this day our daily bread was a song called Breathe.
Yes.
And we ended up singing it at 3 of the 4 worship services this weekend. We didn't do it on Saturday night, but we did it all Sunday morning. And so it's a great song. You all know it or should know it. And so we're going to
I've
just
been doing it
revisit
for
that.
years.
For
but,
years, yeah.
It's been
And-
because it's been a meaningful song. Here
It's
for
a
years.
meaningful song. So we're going to go back to the 8 a.m. service, I believe, to take a listen, not only to Dana talk a little bit about this, but also sing a song. So let's watch, and then we'll talk about it when we come back.
First of all, Pastor Ben, thank you for those words. You always impress my heart. You do wonders in my heart through God coming through you. Thank you. I also just want to say, in my spiritual path, I finally learned, took forever, seems like, that how much I need to depend on God for my spiritual peace and strength. And this is true, folks. It was like the perfect timing for this song because I've been dealing with hip replacement and really needing to rely on God daily. I will say that I've learned to rely on God when I wake up, throughout my entire day. Don't forget I'm a teacher and deal with teenagers. And for peace and strength. And before I go to sleep at night, I think about these things. And I'm grateful to depend on God, to be honest. I'm glad that there's someone that's always there for me. And speaking of that, I'm happy to have Robbie this morning with me to share this prayer. That this is one of my favorite songs. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I
So that was the end. We're gonna get to the
Yeah,
heart of
got-
that song. But one of the reasons I asked for this song today was for you to hear from Dana.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted everyone to hear that, Dana not only just sings, but she believes what she sings.
It's very true, especially for us who know her. I mean, she when she can. I mean, she said she's a school teacher, so
Yep.
she's in school most of the year. But when she can, she comes in. She wants to be here. She'll come after school. She really cares.
And she gives all of herself.
It's her
and
heart,
and I
and
think
so-
about, people come to church and they see all the people up front.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you, me, Philip, Keith, you know, even David and Tony and Dana and, you know, whoever else.
Yep.
And somehow I think there can be a disconnect about whether or not we are just real people, like in our mission statement, and Robbie too. I didn't mean to exclude Robbie,
Yeah.
but like we're all extremely regular, real people, and that's why I wanted you to hear what she was saying, was that she's been through a hip replacement 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is her first Sunday back. She didn't want to broadcast it beforehand, but she just went through a hip replacement surgery, and she took 2 weeks off so that she could heal. And this was her first Sunday back, and she's still healing from that. And so her testimony, I guess for lack of a better word, is saying, I've had to depend on God a lot because she's been pretty laid up recovering from a major surgery.
And even the weeks before that, which she's always been so positive.
Yep.
It's not easy when you're to that point where you need
And
a
you're feeling the
replacement and
pain.
you're feeling that pain.
That's right.
But she always came in. She has always been so positive.
Yep.
And yeah.
And
just
so
wonderful.
so in other words, the boil that down is she wasn't just singing a song because we said we're doing this song this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
This song means something to her. It means something to me. It means something to you.
Yes, it does.
It's an important part of our music catalog in a lot of ways, and to get to the heart of that also paints this understanding that all of us up there aren't some sort of people on a pedestal or kind of elevated,
Yeah.
right? We're just like everybody else.
It's funny how as human beings we love to do that to people. We
Yeah.
love to take people and
hold
their
they're-
yeah.
you know, and it really isn't. We're just like everybody else. And the calling to help lead and point the way is very special. But certainly that does not come with it some sort of living life that is free from hip replacements or family members dying or
Any kind of
you know,
disappointment, ups and downs.
ups and downs like everybody else.
Yeah.
And just what I was talking about, right? Like I've been to my father's doctor 3 times in 5 days. Like it's not like somebody rolls out the red carpet for kind of what we're doing, right?
Yeah,
know,
you don't
just-
go in there and say, "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah, right. Exactly. But it's concerning when tech walks out the door.
Yeah.
I know you can't see it, but it makes me very nervous when somebody gets up and leaves.
Right in the middle of things.
He's actually going to go out and get a guitar to
come back.
to come back and sing the song.
Well, that would
in
make it
Dan-
all
in-
better.
in
Yeah.
Dana's place. I think that is a beautiful thing. But let me tell you a little bit about this song, which you will get to hear. Marie Barnett wrote this song in 1995. The
Okay.
song "Breathe," and it very much is like a mantra. You know, this is the air I breathe. Your Holy Spirit living within me. This is my daily bread. You know, your very word spoken to me. I'm desperate without you. I'm lost. It's a plea to God, right?
Yeah.
And it's very much like, and we used to sing this around Advent time, but there was a song by a pastor by the name of John Wimber who wrote a song called "Isn't He?" And it is, isn't he beautiful? Yes, he is beautiful. Isn't he wonderful? Son of God, Prince of Peace, Almighty God.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Right?
Isn't he?
You know,
I do know that song.
It's like that because it's kind of a mantra type song that kind of takes you somewhere, and she wrote this at a time in her life when she was struggling, and when it came out, because it was so genuine and so heartfelt that it got recorded on a CD, because we used CDs back then, 95. And it appeared on a Vineyard Worship CD, which then propelled it kind of into some deep popularity, because that CD or that album went to number 25 on the charts, and then people started recording it. And where I first heard it, I don't know if you know this, but Michael W. Smith.
I was going to say that's the version that I
Yeah.
knew of.
So he did this worship album in 2001 or 2002, and it was like the album. Like, you know, and there's a ton of great music on that album. Matter of fact, a few weeks ago, as an instrumental that probably most people miss, but I told Philip, I'm like, I heard it. There's a song on that album called More Love, More Power, More of You in My Life. And Philip was doing it as an instrumental, and I caught him after service, and I said, I just want you to know I heard that, you know.
It's great.
And
yeah, it's a great one.
all sorts of great stuff on that album. So that's where I first heard it. But I think the reason it has any sort of staying power is that it's genuine, and that it is a song that speaks to the heart and not just to the mind. And so that's why it keeps coming up. And then anytime you hear it, you go, oh, that's so good, right? You go, oh, that means so much to me.
It does.
And including the fact that, you know, I'm lost without you, or I'm desperate for you, is really this acknowledgement of this deep hunger and connection for God. And that all of us, if we're willing to admit it, can feel lost without the direction and the leading of God in our life.
Yeah, well, if we try to go too far on our own, we realize, oh, we're only getting more into the weeds here. We're lost. And
Right.
Yeah, we need something bigger.
Well, and I think that, you know, in very real terms, at least I'll talk about myself, is this past weekend I talked about if God is kind of at the center and God is love, when we get out to the edges, let's say, of a seesaw, you know, outside of God's love, you know, we're bouncing around, and outside of that love, and guess what shows up? Anger and cruelty and hate, right? And we're bouncing around. And I have to keep that in mind when going to the doctor's office for the third time in 5 days to say, why are we not caring for my father as promised, right? So you can see, and you could ask my wife about this, she could tell that I'm like pretty angry about the lack of service, right? And
Yeah.
she keeps saying, just remember, you're a pastor in this town. You don't need to have a reputation
As the angry
as
pastor.
the angry pastor, and we don't want to have Dad find a new doctor because of the things you might say, right? So my wife's calming me down, right? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. I need God to guide my words, and I need to take a deep breath and
Breathe.
breathe.
There is
right?
something real to that.
Yeah. And so, you know, you think about, you know, who are we? We have those same kind of struggles, and so we gotta find that dependence
Yes.
piece as well, so that we're not we're not losing our minds and you know eating the pillow cushions because you're so
As tasty as they are,
as they are,
it's healthier
right?
not to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that, I got some Bible verses I want to share with you, but now we're ready to hear the full version of this song. So let's take a listen.
Do wonders in my heart through God coming through you. Thank you. I also just want to say, in my spiritual path, I finally learned, took forever, seems like, that how much I need to depend on God for my spiritual peace and strength. And this is true, folks. It was like the perfect timing for this song because I've been dealing with hip replacement and really needing to rely on God daily. I will say that I've learned to rely on God when I wake up, throughout my entire day. Don't forget I'm a teacher and deal with teenagers. And for peace and strength. And before I go to sleep at night, I think about these things. And I'm grateful to depend on God, to be honest. I'm glad that there's someone that's always there for me. And speaking of that, I'm happy to have Robbie this morning with me to share this prayer. That this is one of my favorite songs. It's like a prayer to me. And I hope that you will share in singing it with us. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. That's right. Stick with me. Your holy presence living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me. And I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence is living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me. And I'm desperate for you. Lord. And I'm lost without you. And I'm desperate for you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I
You can see why we wanted to wait to hear that
That's a
whole
great one. Yeah.
whole
yeah.
piece of music.
There's so much feeling,
Right.
emotion right in that.
So you think to yourself, we've talked about the song a little bit already. I'm desperate for you, I'm lost without you, reminds me of Psalm 88. And it's Psalm 88 is lament. And listen to this. First three verses. O Lord, the God who saves me, day and night I cry out before you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry, for my soul is full of trouble, and my life draws near the grave. And that feeling of, I got nothing left.
Right.
I'm desperate for you, and I'm lost without you. And we can bring those kind of prayers to God. And that's the way to do it, is just to say, Lord, I'm empty. I got nothing left. Here I am. And, and the comparison to that I mentioned on Sunday is, back at the time of Moses, rather than just saying, Lord, we're desperate, we need some food, God, this is your fault. Like that's the
It was to
opposite.
blame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Psalm 88 really points us to the place that we can, in that moment when we got nothing, we can just go to God and say, Lord, I need your help. And he's there to listen, right? And I love that.
Right. Right.
Or-
that God shows up.
Yeah, or this is the air I breathe, your holy presence living in me, and I'm reminded of that place after the resurrection, and Jesus is appearing to the disciples. They're still trying to figure out what's this resurrection of the dead thing about. Like they're,
Yeah.
And Jesus says something really interesting to them about breath.
From John chapter 20, verse 21. Again, Jesus said, peace be with you. As the Father sent me, I am sending you. And with that, he breathed on them and said, receive the Holy Spirit.
Receive the Holy Spirit, and he breathed. What an interesting moment
Right.
to go,
Yes.
receive the Spirit of God.
Right. And it goes back to, as John does, go back to Genesis, where
Yeah.
the Spirit is moving over
The
chaos at the
waters.
beginning. And just the Spirit is breathing over creation and is breathing over.
And calming the
disciples.
chaos of the hearts of these
And
guys.
in both
right?
cases, like God's breath into chaos.
Yeah, because they are afraid, they're unsure, they're excited, Jesus is back, but he's different. And so there's a little
And
bit
what
of
does it
chaos.
mean? And just that breath.
Breath.
That,
Bringing that peace and that calm. So your holy presence living within me, and to have that breath of God, that power of God, to calm us in a lot of ways, to say, it's okay, here I am. I'm going to be with you.
yeah.
And then finally, here's something interesting. I didn't even have, you only got so much time on a Sunday morning, right?
I know there are times where you could take it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Even these, this prayer that we pray
Yeah.
so rapidly every week.
So
But-
this is one of those things I didn't have time to incorporate, but I wanted to share with you. The words daily bread together show up 3 times in the Bible.
Oh,
We covered 2 of them. We covered the Lord's Prayer,
Yes.
give us this day our daily bread. Yes, that shows up twice in Matthew and in Luke. Yeah, I bet.
Yes.
But let's just count that as 1,
okay.
the Lord's Prayer. Then there's the prayer in Proverbs from Agur.
Which we also covered.
Yep, give me only my daily bread for today.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I might be too rich and forget about you and say,
Yep.
who's God? Or I might not have enough and steal and therefore defame the name of God,
Yeah.
right? So there's 2. There's a third place where daily bread shows up.
And you made it clear that it wasn't in the manna story.
It was not. It's the manna was the place where, and I use the word carefully, the reality of daily bread first showed up.
Right. Because
Yeah.
I would have guessed that one.
Right.
Yeah,
Like maybe
but-
somewhere in the story, God says, "And I will provide your daily bread." Right. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yes.
It's kind of like in a song that with a title, and then the words of the song title show up. You're like, there it is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
No. The only other place that the words daily bread shows up is in the book of Job.
And see, I would not have guessed that one.
Right? And
Yeah.
honestly, as a pastor, you study stuff. And
Yeah.
you don't remember little details like that. So when you look
Or,
up,
or you
go,
might think daily bread. You wait, read through and say it says daily bread,
Right.
but not recognize this is one of the very few times that it
right.
shows up.
So I wanted to share with you the third place that it shows up, because I thought broadcast would be a good place to do that. So we've talked about the prayer of Agur, We've talked about the Lord's Prayer, the reality of daily bread in the gathering of the daily manna. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
What is
What
it?
is it?
What is it?
But it's edible. Is Job. And Job is the guy who, it's a parable in a lot of ways, who lost everything because God and the devil made a bet. That's why it's a parable.
Yes.
God doesn't actually work like that. God doesn't
Right.
cause bad things to happen to people. We've said that. So we know it's a parable. And in this parable, he's lost everything. He's lost family. He's lost his wealth. He's lost, his livelihood. He has friends come around him, and his friends give absolutely horrible theological counsel on why all of this bad stuff has happened to him. Matter of fact, at the end of Job, God says, "You need to find new friends, Job," essentially.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And so, but in the midst of this, Job is heartbroken. Job is struggling, but he never gives up the faith. So in other words, he's having the very human reaction to stuff as a person of faith. He's down, it's upsetting, it's hurtful.
It doesn't mean he doesn't cry out or he's not
Right.
angry. All those things. I mean, he even, is essentially cursing at God.
Yeah.
But God says you did no wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay. God can take it if we're upset.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. And so he never renounces God. He never gives up the faith. Anyways, in the midst of this, in Job 23, so chapter 23, verse 12, this is what Job says. I have not departed from the commands of God's lips. In other words, I'm still a person of faith.
Mm-hmm.
I have treasured the words of the Lord's mouth more than my daily bread. That he is talking about his faith even though he's lost everything.
Yeah.
And, this was written so long ago that even since then, meaning the New Testament, where we come to this new understanding of daily bread is more than sustenance. Job's in a place where he's still thinking about daily bread as enough food to eat.
Yeah.
And, we have this different idea of daily bread is anything that gives us the sustenance, including spiritually, to get through the day. But he's just making this thing. He's like, even above having enough food, God's word is more important to me than anything, which means he didn't lose the faith even in the midst of struggle. So I think that's a good reminder to us of who do we look to when things aren't looking good? Who's that one who will provide us that daily bread?
Yep.
And it is Jesus himself, and that's what we heard today in that song and in the message as well. So don't forget, tomorrow night you can join us online for Bible study. That starts
That's
at
right.
6 o'clock. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for something to do, we got an hour of Bible study tomorrow night. We're teaching through the book of Jeremiah, and you can join us for that. And then we'll be back here on Thursday as well. And I believe, unless something creeps up into Philip's schedule, we will see him on Thursday here at broadcast time. So, but until then, we don't have a real play out today,
Not today.
but Thursday you will. So anyways, take care. God bless you. We love you. And we'll see you tomorrow night at Bible study online.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.